Hello, everyone. So it is literally 10 minutes to 2 a.m. I just came home from outside. I was at the lake. Y'all know I like to go out to talk to people because I'm pretty much antisocial and I have no friends. And I say that proudly because of the situation we live in, the world with social media. People don't know how to communicate. But I wanted to come on this YouTube channel because it's fresh on my mind and this topic just happened literally less than an hour ago. Okay, so basically, I was walking at the lake and they had three youngsters in their early 20s outside. They probably was smoking a joint and they definitely was drinking some beer. Okay, and then so I asked each of them where they were from, and they had two Latinos, but they had one that would not even say where he was from, and I just kept vouching and kept asking and kept asking because I'm very as someone that feels like I belong in this journalistic industry or this media industry. I feel like you have to keep asking the question in order to get the answer. So I kept asking, and he wouldn't tell me. So I ended up seeing a worker shirt from one of the Latinos. And the place he worked at is a very popular Palestinian convenience store chain. So I'm like, wait, you work at so and so? Wait, they Palestinian. And then finally, the guy that wouldn't even tell me who he was, he ended up telling me he's Palestinian and German. All right. And so we were talking and everything, but he was very evasive. And they even had a girl in the car where he told her, don't even talk to me and everything. So, anyways, they ended up leaving. I ended up walking away, walking so I can go home and stuff like that. And I felt like this guy was trying to find out what car I drove, the Palestinian guy. So I acted like I was walking home. And then all of a sudden, he finally backs up after he saw that I was walking home and I didn't have a car. And he beeped at me, right? And then so I was like, "What's up?" And then I went to his car, up to his window. He was driving. The girl he was with, his girlfriend, was in the passenger seat, and he told me, "What do I think about pride?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "What do I think about pride?" And he was like, "To be honest with you, bro, like I kind of felt like you were gay." And I'm like, "Well, what would make you think that?" Because he was like, I felt it, right?" And I'm like, he started telling me stuff in Arabic, how it's haram, which basically means it's a sin. And I was like, dude, I support the LGBTQIA community, and this is America. This isn't Saudi Arabia. This isn't Afghanistan, where those two countries are prominently known for conflicting religion and politics together. This is America. You could be anything in who you are legally, right? And here you are asking me what I am and if I'm gay or not, and if I support Pride Month and everything, and it's a sin in a Muslim religion where you are with a white girl who has short shorts on. She's not Muslim. You are smoking a joint or weed, and you are drinking, right? And so that's haram as well. So who are you to judge someone that's different from you? We already live in a world. We live in a country where we are seen as second-class citizens. We are seen equivalent to arguably as people who are LGBTQIA. We are seen as them. We're seen as less than human sometimes. And so that hatred or that self-projection that you may have, you need to enable that with what's going on with our people and what's going on with the journalist who just got killed 2 months ago by Israeli forces. Now, I'm a supporter of the LGBTQIA community, which I told them, but of course I don't agree those things should be taught in school to kids that are kindergarten and third grade. That stuff should be, if they want to implement that in school, it should be taught like when they're older, seventh grade, when we were in school, And I was like, dude, like you're self-projecting. Like, while I do appreciate that you were bold enough to come to drive up to me and talk to me and ask me what I feel about pride stuff and about my sexuality and everything. But dude, I think you are self-projecting. He was like, well, what does self-projecting mean? I'm like, well, I got the third eye, my friend. And self-projecting basically means showing hatred for something that you are, but you're scared to explore that or discover that because you're scared to find out the true information of who you are. And if you have a self-identity crisis and you feel this is who you are, but you can't be that due to your nationality and due to the religion you come from, then you're not living under the confines of America. You are living under the confines of a Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan, dude. So if there's something you need to explore or discover yourself because you are young, this is me as a 29-year-old, someone that's 7 years older than you, giving you some wisdom. That pissed him off. And he was like, you know what, give me leave before I do something. I'm like, what you going to do? Like, you came at me with a question, I gave you a response, and I gave you extra information with that response, and you're not liking it, right? And this is sort of giving me the feeling, because I feel things, y'all. I have spirit in my apartment. I have spirits, okay? I've seen orbs before. I've seen black orbs. This is the South. And you know what? This kind of reminds me of the guy at Pulse nightclub in Orlando who literally was at this club several times before he decided to massively shoot a bunch of LGBTQIA people. I'm like, dude, don't let that be you. That's who you are. It's okay. This is the United States of America. So that pissed him off. And then when he told me I'm about to leave because I'm about to do something, I'm like, well, what you going to do? And as you get older, at least with me, when someone confronts you with some type of threat or indirect threat, you have that sort of emotional intelligence to not reply back. And plus, I'm way older than this guy. So I'm just like, dude, you asked me a question, I gave you an answer, and now you feel some type of way of that answer because there's possibly an insecurity or an issue that you haven't explored yet or discovered yet. And so now you're self-projecting that on me by asking me how I feel about pride or if I'm gay. So with all that being said, I just wanted to come on here and talk about this because, who am I to tell somebody how should they live their life? Who am I to tell a trans person that she or he cannot live the life that they want to live? Who am I to tell someone what sex they should be with? This has been going on before Jesus was on earth, okay? So how do we know that is actually a sin? Like, who am I to even tell somebody? If it is a sin, that is not my life discovery or life purpose to tell somebody, vindicate somebody that is a sin. Who am I to do that? I'm not them. I don't live through them. Our souls aren't attached. They're a human being. I'm a human being. This is America. I cannot inflict my beliefs on someone else's beliefs just because I disagree with it. And I was like, we have so much problems in society where it's very hypocritical as a person of color, as a minority, to vindicate somebody because you don't agree with their lifestyle, whereas they have the majority people, in 5 years, they'll be the minority, aka white Caucasian people, who sees not all of them, but some of them, who sees not only LGBTQIA as less than, but they also see minorities as less than. So we are being hypocrites if we look at somebody who is in the minority category and vindicate them because their life is different from ours. And that's the beautification of America, where you can be who you want to be. There's not one religion. There's not one race. There's not one creed. There's not one color. There's not one gender. There's not one sexuality, okay? And it's like, I don't care what they do. If they want to live their life the way they want to live, kudos to them. I have no allegiance or jurisdiction over their life. And so he got pissed off. He got mad because I gave him the truth. And the girl who he was with was nodding her head, agreeing with me. And I was like, man, what's your name? And he literally told her, don't tell that boy your name. So he has Middle Eastern-esque, old type of historical controlling with a woman, clearly. And I was like, man, it sounds like he's self-projecting. I guess you need to find someone else or find some other man, maybe, because nowadays what I tell girls is girls no longer have to worry about the side chick. They also got to worry about the side dude, right? Because now men who are in heterosexual relationships using these girls as beards publicly, but in reality, they're having intercourse with the same sex, right? And I was saying women go through so much. They have to decide if they want to keep a child, if they want to get rid of the child. If, once they have the child, their body goes through hell. And then, going through a period and dealing with unfaithfulness and so much. And I'm like, I looked at her and I'm like, you're agreeing with me. I see that. And I tell women this all the time, that, again, they don't need to only worry about the side chick when it comes to infidelity. They also got to worry about the side dude, because we live in a new society now, right? Or now it's a more open society. So anyways, I just came on here to say that because I do support the LGBTQIA community. Of course, everything is not black and white. Just because I support it doesn't mean I support every single thing. I don't agree that it should be taught in schools to kids. I think kids should grow up and discover who they are on an individual basis. And I don't agree about children being at drag shows. I don't even agree about children being at clubs or on Bourbon Street in New Orleans or watching bad shows or anything. As I was growing up, I couldn't even watch Lifetime or whatever that was on TV because I grew up in a traditional household. And so that's normal to not want your kid to be exposed to rated R films or rated R situations, right? I mean, that's normal, right? I mean, that's good parenting, right? I hope so. I hope that's still considered good parenting. But look, I support the community wholeheartedly. I vouch for the community, and I wish I could have educated himself even more and told him there's a woman by the name of Rashida Tlaib, who's a congresswoman in Detroit, who I became aware of about 2 years ago. And the way I live my life, I was shocked when one of her policies is being supportive of gay marriage and actually going to Pride. I was shocked. I'm like, wait, Muslims like Rashida Tlaib and like Ilhan Omar, we're actually progressing forward. Like there's statistics out there that says over 50% of Arabs support the LGBTQI community, but we still have work to do. We still have work to do. We do. And one of the reasons why I sort of just kind of like secluded myself from the Muslim religion is because of that, because of the non-acceptance of the LGBTQIA community. Because me personally, I accept everyone. I do. I don't care what you are or who you are. I just don't want that person. Don't inflict your beliefs on someone else. Or try to brainwash or cornerstone somebody or a child or whatever. I don't agree with that. And so this is what politicians use when it comes to Palestinian and Israeli issues. They often say, you know what, Palestinians deserve to what they're going through for the past 75 years because Tel Aviv and Israel, they are accepting of the LGBTQIA community, but Palestinians aren't. And in a way that is true. Like, you cannot live comfortably as a LGBTQIA person in Palestine, okay? If there was a guy who is 7 years younger than me, who's 22, who has a problem with pride, who has a problem with LGBTQI people and was comfortable and talking to me about it and asking me how I felt, or if I am that because I'm Palestinian as well, then there is more issues that needs to solve, okay? And this is going to be a political talking point. This is going to be a continuous political talking point with the right or with pro-Israel, or why Israel should continuously integrate more land in Palestinian territory. Because one of the narratives that Meghan McCain and a lot of these Zionists like to use is that there's no acceptance with the LGBTQIA community. So they like to use that community to basically justify the international illegalness that they often do, and they still do, for 75 plus years. And so with that being said, I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because I felt like this is an important topic. I mean, there's some confusion of where I stand. I'm a supportive of that. I know sometimes I sort of throw, I guess, some terms out there that's not maybe pro-LGBT, but no, I support everybody. I support everybody, and I'm glad that we had that conversation, and I'm glad that he actually was man enough to talk about it, but he felt some type of way because I threw some honesty towards him, and he was like, give me a lead before I do something. Dude, first of all, I'm big. I eat a lot. He was probably an inch or two shorter than me, and if we got into it like that, first of all, he would have lost. I would have knocked his ass out, and more than likely, the cops that be riding the streets every 5 to 10 minutes would have came, gave him a breathalyzer test, and he would have been above the 0.08% limit, which is here in Louisiana. If you're above that 0.08% after you take a breathalyzer test, you're going to be in jail and you're going to have DUI. And so more than likely, he would have been in jail because he's smoking kush or weed or a joint, whatever he was doing. He was drinking while driving. All right. So that being said, God bless everybody. I support everyone. If you're new to my channel, I really appreciate if you subscribe and click the bell. This is a recorded stream. It is 2:04 a.m. And I felt like, you know what? You need to talk about this because it is fresh on my mind, because I'm tired of people judging other people because they live their life differently. Like, just because I don't agree with your stance or I don't agree with whatever, that doesn't mean I should vindicate you or just, this is a free country. And this is why a lot of people want to come here, right? Because we are able to have multiple religions. You are able to not be a part of religion. You are able to, be gay, straight, bisexual, pansexual, demisexual, whatever sexual out there, and still be able to live a normal life in a lot of places of the world. This is why people want to come here. That being said, there's more work need to be done, clearly, in the LGBTQIA community. And it's like there is a stigma in the Arab community about that. And this is the reason why I don't associate myself with that community a lot, because there is that kind of like, okay, well, that should not happen, right? And it's interesting because he did tell me, like, if I see you around or I dap you off and I know that you're gay or you sport, it's like, dude, it doesn't matter what I am. Like, it does not matter. It does not matter. He was like, I know I may see you around, because I did recognize him. You know, and it's like, dude, I'm older than you. I'm grown. You in your early 20s, okay? I remember my early 20s and it was hard. Like, I'm grown. More than likely, you live with your mama, you don't pay your own bills, whatever. I'm grown. Like, I'm grown. I'm grown. You're 22. I'm about to be 30 in less than a few months, okay? Like, I'm on a whole different level and chapter in my life than you are. You're still growing as a man. Your brain has not fully cognitively grown until you're 25, 26, and I'm already there. Although sometimes I think I'm not there. But anyways, subscribe, click the bell. God bless everybody. I support the community. I support Pride Month. I just don't think children should be seeing all of that stuff. They should be at home. That should be grown adults. Children should not see people twerking and with boobs and everything out and men naked. And like, come on now, let's be realistic. Let's come on. There should be boundaries. That's rated R situations. All right, deuces. This is going to be published on the 18th, Monday. Yeah, yeah.